Okay, let's see what Teanau Tuiono's got to say.
That stole Christmas. Here we are, just a couple of weeks out from Christmas, and the workers are getting another kick in the teeth from this government, Mr. Speaker. This legislation is appalling. The government is introducing legislation that will make it easier to penalise workers fighting for better pay and conditions. It is dire, draconian and outright disgraceful, even by this own government's standards, Mr. Speaker. The ability to strike, organise and collectively bargain is a democratic right. These are critical tools that have empowered workers to contest and challenge unfair working conditions and the uneven playing field between them and their bosses. And we did hear comments about concerns about interruptions to public services, and I think we all share that. But you want to know something, Mr. Speaker? If you want to minimise disruptions to public services, you pay people properly. You pay the nurses, you pay the teachers, you pay people properly, Mr. Speaker. Because what's the count now of the number of people across the public sector that have lost their jobs? 6,000, 8,000, I've seen numbers up to 10,000. And everybody across the House, Mr. Speaker, likes to talk a big game about the brain drain. But where do you think these people go? Where do people go when they lose their jobs? They get on a plane and they get out of here to find better work and conditions. Mr. Speaker, the government is also getting ahead of the collective bargaining in the big public sector workforces next year to undermine their ability to strike and try to frighten the workers into accepting their miserly offers that are coming. Mr. Speaker, it is so important that we protect workers' rights, that we protect the right to strike as well, and acknowledging the comments of my colleague Camilla Bellich as well. All of those different ways that are expressions of frustration with workers. If you are wearing a T-shirt, if you're all as a part of the partial strike, that will count as your pay getting docked, Mr. Speaker. The different ways that people find their ways to express their frustrations, Mr. Speaker. This is something that should be opposed across the House. Mr. Speaker, the Greens will continue to fight this legislation every step of the way. And just to reiterate that point again, that if we do want to see fewer strikes, you have to pay people properly. You have to pay the nurses properly. You have to pay the teachers properly. You got to pay those people that do all of those different bits and pieces, Mr. Speaker. We have this wonderful saying in Te Reo Māori, Mr. Speaker, which goes, "Ko te amorangi ki mua, ko te hapai o ki muri," which, if I can translate that into English, if you take care of the front and you take care of the back, that's when everything comes along in a good way, particularly on the marae. You look after the paipai, you look after the kouta, the marae as well. So what we have with this government, Mr. Speaker, is a commitment to gut the back office without any concern with what that means to the front office, Mr. Speaker. This bill is draconian, it is dire and it is diabolical. A couple of weeks out from Christmas, this is a kick in the teeth for workers. Workers should be getting ready to organise against this government and make them a one-term government. Mr. Speaker, we oppose this bill.
Now, the question is the motion be agreed.
Now, the interesting part that actually does come in here is when it comes to, if you pay people properly, they won't go on strike. But also, like, the 10% deductions, is that 10% per pay packet or is that 10% per day? Where does the 10% stop?
Good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, it is a bit of a, who knows where it will be. I mean, I'd love to see this happen. I doubt that Mark Mitchell would like it, but I'd love to see the police have partial strike of not issuing speeding tickets for 24 hours.
Yeah, just sit there and eat donuts.
Yeah, the only time they go out. Oh, no, better put it this way. Don't issue any speeding tickets for anything less than 30 kilometres over the speed limit. Whereas the majority of the tickets are issued. So you do have that reckless behaviour, say, if Sylvia Brown's driving the Blues Clues car at 160 kilometres down Transmission Gully, yes, he should be pulled over and lose his licence on the spot. But if you have Chris Bishop driving at 100 kilometres an hour, 110 k's with a train on the back, you just wave at him nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Or Chris Hipkins,
I found that little rant by David Seymour earlier about Camilla Bellich, and I know we're talking about Tuiono's speech, but just to take it back, I've just noticed a trend with him. He tends to start attacking people when he feels insecure about his own position. I saw this with Modlick as well, Helmut Modlick, in that debate on the working group. He called what he was saying high school debate tactics. And look what he did here with Camilla. It's like a one-time lawyer. And it's like, yeah, and she's from Epsom. So this is just him projecting his insecurity.
Yeah.